Hi everyone, I'm Helen Carnate and I am so excited to welcome you to the premiere of the 4th annual BeastSaber Mapping Awards nominee announcement. The Beasties celebrate the best of the mapping community in the same way that the Oscars or the Grammys celebrate the best of the movie or recording industries. I have to say, it's been so awesome to see this event grow from our experimental first year in 2021 when we had just over 700 maps to what it's become today with the community clocking in more than 2,200 submissions for the best maps, lights, mappers, and lighters of 2024. 614 of you took advantage of our shiny new submission site, forged from the blood, sweat, and tears of Serafinx, to recognize 1,141 unique maps from hundreds of creators across 30 categories. Our judging team of experienced mappers and lighters has put in a massive effort to narrow these submissions down to the nominees you'll hear today. As mapping has evolved over the last 4 years, so too has the perception of what makes that map the creme de la creme of each category. As a reminder, these nominees are not the final winners. Following this announcement, voting will be open for 2 weeks to select a winner in each category. We consistently have ties for a handful of awards each year, and we've said it before and we'll say it again, every vote counts. Now, let's move on to what you're all here for. I'm pleased to introduce the nominees for the 2024 BeastSaber Mapping Awards. Did you know that almost all of the Beat Games mappers were once custom mappers, just like us? We're shining a light on the best official in-game map of 2024. The nominees for our first community-only category, Best OST or DLC map are Tempo Katana by Camellia, mapped by Etan. Luster by Camellia, mapped by Altruin and Syndicate. The Master by Temanite and Boom Kitty, mapped by Zaka, Narwhal, Syndicate, and Freak. One More Time by Daft Punk, mapped by Narwhal, Altapavi, Etan, and Freak. Godzilla featuring Juice WRLD by Eminem, mapped by Altruin and Altapavi. Accelerate by Temanite and Skybreak, mapped by Syndicate, Etan, and Altruin. Pump by Teddy Killers and Pegboard Nerds, mapped by Narwhal, Zaka, and Altapavi. Heavyweight by Lindsay Sterling, mapped by Kolazan and Etan. Scream and Shout by Britney Spears and will.i.am, mapped by Freak, Zaka, Etan, and Kolazan. And Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears, mapped by Kolazan. Our second community-only award spotlights community-made packs with a tight theme, new, high-quality maps, and great representation across all difficulties, all wrapped up in a neat bow. The nominees for Pack of the Year are Triple S Pack, organized by Jonas00, AJR The Maybe Man, organized by Lek, Electro Swing World Tour Pack, organized by Nixie Corton. One True God Pack, We Are All God, organized by Nugget Plays. Genres of Halloween, organized by TG Mapping Group. One Republic Pack, organized by Mad Chase. Wall Socket Project, organized by Omergish. Eurobeat Pack, organized by JLC Mapping. This is what Beat Saber feels like, organized by B-Berg. Porter Robinson Music Pack, organized by Bandit by the Street. Sensual Rhythms Pack, organized by Clover VR. The Fear of Fear by Spirit Box, organized by Bytrius. Slice of Innovation, organized by Undeceiver. Switch Fitbeat Pack, organized by Bellis. Adventure, organized by the Astra. Project Sekai Pack, organized by Toro. And the Smile Pack, organized by Scorefam. Whether it's 360 or 90 rotation, one saber or no arrows, there are plenty of ways to enjoy Beat Saber outside of the standard characteristic box. The nominees for Best Non-Standard Map are Scream by Dreamcatcher, mapped by Sarah 4. All of Me by John Legend, mapped by Mad Chase. Apologize by One Republic, mapped by Rate Gyro. Ashed Wings by Camellia, mapped by Dark Realm 7. And Event Horizon by Extrulor, mapped by Ramno. Our next category highlights maps for both newbie and experienced players, bringing the same level of style and masterful mapping on Easy as they do on Expert Plus. The nominees for Best Full Spread Map are Furina Character Demo by Genshin Impact, mapped by Kush and Real Coda. Kool-Aid by Bring Me the Horizon, mapped by Bytrius. Shelter by Porter Robinson and Median, mapped by Phoenix, Scorefam, and Endy. Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera, mapped by Grizzler. And Greatest Love featuring LV by Culture Code and SZ, mapped by Dirty Alex. Based on feedback from the community and the volume of submissions, we've split our ranked map categories into separate awards for Beat Leader star ratings and Score Saber star ratings. The nominees for Best Beat Leader ranked map under 8 stars are Scream by Dreamcatcher, mapped by Sarah 4. I Got You by Twice, mapped by Lalati. Grain in Ear by Zhao Fangjing, mapped by Bellis. Magnetic by Illit, mapped by Mincy, and Idol by Yoasobi, mapped by Yabji. The nominees for Best Beat Leader ranked map between 8 and 12 stars are $44,000 by Piscord, mapped by Obi-Wan CB, Accendio by Ive, mapped by Jonas00, Virus Funk by Nato, mapped by Galaxy Master, Dance with Silence by Camellia, mapped by Sarah 4, and Retroscope by A Dust Rain, mapped by Visikoa. The nominees for Best Beat Leader ranked map over 12 stars are 1F1E33 by Camellia, mapped by A Gentleman, Viella's Melancholy by Lore, mapped by Sarah 4, Ashed Wings by Camellia, mapped by Dark Realm 7, Countdown 321 by T-Pazolite, mapped by Galaxy Master and the Senate, and Far Out by Tokyo Machine, mapped by Phoenix and Undeceiver. The nominees for Best Score Saber ranked map under 8 stars are Me 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 by Cerebro, mapped by Bits, Beyond the Way by Giga, mapped by Semdal, Mr. Bijo, and Yabji, What You Know by Two Door Cinema Club, mapped by Tatis, Vicious Anti-Heroism by Kobario, mapped by Slayex, and Endymion by Fallen Shepherd featuring Rabbiton Strings, mapped by F-Knight. The nominees for Best Score Saber ranked map between 8 and 12 stars are Tomboy by G-Idol, mapped by Jabab, Cranky Clown by Dopamine, mapped by Gabriel, How to Be a Heartbreaker by Marina, mapped by Cooling Closet, Murder Circus by Lizelle, mapped by Okazu, and Unlimited Hyperlink by Kobario, mapped by Timbo. And finally, the nominees for Best Score Saber ranked map over 12 stars are Kyuku by Katagiri, mapped by Xeon Gideon, White Girl Manifestation Type Beat by Haunt, mapped by Retrex, Flame Wall by Camellia, mapped by Aquaflea and Tranche, Swindler by Camellia, mapped by ABC, and Nostalgic Blood of the Strife by Lore, mapped by Yabji. Using only the minimalist toolbox of base game mechanics, these light shows not only perfectly represent the music, but also add that wow factor when playing on any version. The nominees for Best Vanilla Lights are Link in the Chain by JT Music, featuring Andrea Storm Caden, lit by Nova Lineal. Gaviscon by Ruby My Dear, lit by Oddloop. The Journey Home by Orbit Arc, lit by Z-Cube. Carol of the Bells by David Forrester, lit by Symphonic. And I Love It, featuring Charlie XCX by Icona Pop, lit by Bright Night. Since its release in 2022, V3 Lighting has set the new standard for base game compatible light shows on eye-popping environments. The nominees for Best Vanilla Plus lights are Black Berserker by Praetanalis, lit by Z-Cube. Girls Who Are Wizards by Violet Pony, lit by Phoenix. Necromantic by Akatsuki Records, lit by Kival Even. The Fear of Fear by Spirit Box, lit by One Spooky Boy, Feud Boy YT, and Stake. And Gods by League of Legends, featuring New Jeans, lit by Mad Chase. These light shows make it worth dropping your full combo, or turning off static lights, to marvel at the use of RGB color, precise component control, and light IDs. The nominees for Best Chroma Lights are Greatest Love, featuring LV by Culture Code and SZ, lit by Dirty Alex. This Is What Autumn Feels Like by Jake, lit by Themex. Calamity Rhapsody by Ica, lit by Crater Nugget. Emergency Curtain Call by T-Pazolite, lit by Alice. And Zeit by Ennio, lit by Tsunami Pro. Adding environment enhancement to the already rich chroma lighting toolbox allows these lighters to create experiences that are out of this world. The nominees for Best Chroma Plus lights are Natural Light by Porter Robinson, lit by Nassafrasa. Butterfly Wing by Vine Margareta, lit by Elicast. Maybe Man by AJR, lit by Phoenix and Nassafrasa. Give In To You by Rez, Virtual Riot, and One True God, lit by Nugget Plays. And Viva La Vida by Coldplay, lit by Mad Chase. The mutt of the map style neighborhood mixes a little of this and a little of that into one fantastic map that may not have a distinct niche style. The nominees for Best Balanced Style Map are Fork Funeral by Virtual Riot, mapped by Avexis. Neon Grave by Dayseeker, mapped by Royal. Reborn by Cotone, mapped by Joshabi. Toxic by Starset, mapped by Bytrius. Bling Bang Bang Born by Creepy Nut, mapped by Emiru. And Gigantic OTN by Giga and Real, mapped by Toro. Any map is a dance map when you're good enough, but these maps blend big arm swings, high movement, and lower note density to get players of all ages grooving to the beat. The nominees for Best Dance Map are Delusion Sensation Compensation Federation by 25G Nightcore DE, mapped by Ken Monogatari. Poison Ivy by Aviva and Stiletto, mapped by JRE McNuggies. Magnetic by Illit, mapped by Kush. Lose Control by Teddy Swims, mapped by Didi. And Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, mapped by Lek. It's time to sweat to maps with constant natural movement in all dimensions, walls that keep you hopping, sometimes literally, and blocks that keep the flow to give you the most entertaining workout in existence. The nominees for Best Fitness Map are Revenge of the Orchestra by Apache, mapped by Irahi. Gods by League of Legends featuring New Jeans, mapped by Rate Gyro. Kill Everybody by Skrillex, mapped by Undeceiver. Levitating by Dua Lipa, mapped by Alice. And Elefante by NK, mapped by Meow. These maps are the first steps in luring dance style fans to the dark side, warping the concept of parody to that perfect sweet spot to create a pleasantly surprising gameplay experience while still maintaining great flow. The nominees for Best Low-Tech Map are Agateke Pien featuring Amatsuka by Pan no Minori, mapped by Okazu. Accendio by Ive, mapped by Jonas00. Amenemhat by Yesod, mapped by All Poland and Undeceiver. Bleep Bloop by Tokyo Machine, mapped by Risi. And Strangers Once Again with Treb by Tanger, mapped by Jabab. As you fall further down the tech rabbit hole, you'll find yourself in the land of crazy leans, angles, and rotational momentum, where you'll play challenging sight reads with great flow again and again to master them. The nominees for Best High-Tech Map are Human Borg by Sarukani, mapped by A Gentleman. The Master by Temanite and Boom Kitty, mapped by Galaxy Master. Down by Kizan, mapped by Aquaflea. Bad and End by Ardolph and Hyperzal, mapped by Voidless. And Ratata by Skrillex, Missy Elliott, and Mr. Oizo, mapped by Henner and Harper. Quicker than quick, faster than fast. These maps pack in as many notes as possible while keeping movement low, heartbeats high, and carpal tunnel surgeons employed. Ka-chow. The nominees for Best Speed Map are Neverland by A Dust Rain, mapped by Visikua. Flame Wall by Camellia, mapped by Aquaflea and Tranche. Totsuka no Tsurugi by 5 Kilobyte vs. Raphael, mapped by Accession. Diastrophism by Camellia, mapped by Retrex. And Latent Kingdom by Lore vs. Da Guo Tzu Yin, mapped by Yabji and Null Animation. And now it's time to slow it back down, but very, very carefully, for maps that have excellent rhythmic choice and well-placed emphasis with the fewest possible number of notes. The nominees for Best Act Map are Cave Me In by Fowler and Aisho, mapped by General Dumb. Cheerleader by Porter Robinson, mapped by Tranche. Letter in a Suitcase by Ann Arbor, mapped by FQRB. I Like the Way You Kiss Me by Artemis, mapped by Cassie. And Into You by Ariana Grande, mapped by Aquaflea. Challenge mappers live life unburdened by the constraints of mortal mappers, pushing the limits of speed, complexity, and movement, although they may rip a portal into the 5th dimension if they ever put all 3 in the same map. The nominees for Best Challenge Map are Buggin' by Require, mapped by Obi-Wan CB. Countdown 321 by T-Pazolite, mapped by Galaxy Master and the Senate. Simulated Reality by Celtics, mapped by Bits. Meteoric Impact by Q Tatsuki, mapped by Retrex. And Changguo Hop by Yusi, mapped by Okazu. Some call them abominations, but in a land without chains, the poodle is the top dog. These maps feature spirals, switchbacks, and more with excellent flow and well-placed emphasis, with a long hold note swing style. The nominees for Best Poodle Map are Dark Side by Aviva, mapped by Nebelmonster. Rush by Dutch Melrose, mapped by Hypersonic Sharks. Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran, mapped by Rate Gyro. Come Play by Stray Kids, mapped by Mad Chase. And Sail Away, featuring Jay Mason by Trivecta, mapped by Klondike. Some maps play fast and loose with gameplay, showing off wacky manipulations designed to make you move, swing, or rage quit in specific ways. The nominees for Best Gimmick Map are Free 99 by Trans Riot Music, mapped by Obi1CB. Papacito featuring Kutina by Yakikazi and Cashew, mapped by Henner. Cartuli Vino by Ruskaja, mapped by Retrex. Sway to My Beat in Cosmos, Honkai Star Rail by Robin, mapped by Kush. And Death by Distortion by Dan Terminus, mapped by Undeceiver. The Lily Award, named for the shining lighting star we tragically lost in 2022, highlights the best up-and-coming lighter whose first works were released this year. The nominees for Rookie Lighter of the Year are Clover VR, Grizzler, the editor on Beat Saber, Benson 2022, I'm Chloe, and Meme Doggo. New to the scene but making a splash, these freshies turned heads around the globe with their first maps released just this past year. The nominees for Rookie Mapper of the Year are Danya, Najoko, Clover VR, Kiwarashi, Y-Bar, Kibo, and Water. These next individuals color your world and your maps, creating visual spectacles to feed your retinas, and they also give back to the community by supporting the next generation of lighting enthusiasts. The nominees for Lighter of the Year are Elicast, Alice, One Spooky Boy, Feud Boy YT, Voyakeru, NTS Azazel, Nugget Plays, Bandit by the Street, Dr. Mark, and Z-Cube. These creators not only excel in their art, but also share their experience, are engaged in the customs community, and mentor our newbies as they're able to. The nominees for Mapper of the Year are Derek Nalox 123, Lekrakukya, Bellis, Kush, Jabab, Galaxy Master, Rate Gyro, Jonas 00, Commute, and Toro. Combining the full power of noodle extensions, chroma, and any other gameplay or visual mods, these maps use striking visuals to capture and convey the music, alter the gameplay in mind-blowing ways through animation and manipulation of notes and obstacles, and sometimes both. The nominees for Modded Map of the Year are Paradigm by Leslie Y, mapped by Elicast. From the Sea to the Stars by Lilybug, mapped by Phoenix and Nasifrasa. Pictured as Perfect by Frums, mapped by Accession. Change of Scene, Moonlight Sonata Remix by Beethoven, remix by Meganico, mapped by Loopy MTB. And Give In To You by Rez, Virtual Riot, and One True God, mapped by JRE McNuggies and Nugget. It all comes down to this. These maps have it all. representation, emphasis, flow, killer lights, with everything coming together for an incredible playing experience to fit the music. The nominees for Map of the Year are Vibey Vibey EX by Litmus, mapped by Derek Malox 123 and Breakpie. VAN by Poppy and Bad Omens, mapped by Vitreous. Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, mapped by Lekrakukye. Hazy Moon Night by Nanatsukazi, mapped by Ken Monogatari and Fuyukeru. Scream by Dreamcatcher, mapped by Seraphor, CMP 1111, and Laid Back Aries. Captain Coke by Aaron Chupa and Little Sis Nora, mapped by Jerry McNuggies, Winter Edge, Fatalution, and Clover VR. Choose Your Fighter by Ava Max, mapped by Irahi. Impulse by Cirque, mapped by Voidless. And Unite in the Sky by Unity Chan, mapped by Toro and Mr. Lee Howe. Congratulations to all of this year's nominees. A complete list of nominees for all categories, along with playlists of all the maps, will be available on BeastSaber shortly after this premiere. Voting opens January 1st and will run until January 14th. And thanks to the amazing and talented Serafinx, our voting system has received an overhaul this year as well. Once you've accessed the site, you can find each category with the nominees listed. You can click on the external link icon to open the map on Beat Saber, or to cast your vote, simply click on the map of your choice and confirm that the red heart icon appears. If you want to change your vote before submission, just unclick the original map and click the new one. Before we go, we have some people we'd like to thank, starting with our very own Beasties management team of Rate Gyro, Serafinx, and the Czar 1994, who herded cats, wrangled code, poked judges with reasonably sharp sticks, crunched numbers, and promoted the event around the community. It truly takes a village to pull this event off each year, and the Beasties wouldn't exist without them. Thank you. Thank you also to our amazing nomination team, who logged just shy of 5,000 votes with thousands of discussion messages to reach decisions. All of this took place during a 5-week period at a busy time of year, so we thank you all for your commitment to the mapping community. Many thanks to Beat Saber for allowing us to use their authentication and map metadata, and to Beat Leader for their authentication and that sweet submission button on their site, making it super easy to submit your favorite map. Domo arigato to Okyo, Toro, and Mochichi for translating a Japanese version of our submission page and form for the first time, which helps to bring greater awareness of the Beasties to the Japanese Beat Saber community. Thank you also to streamers and content creators like Miss Honey Peaches for helping the Beasties reach new audiences. A special thanks to the Beat Saber Modding group for letting us shack up on their YouTube channel again, and for their support with getting the word out every year. And finally, as always, thanks to all of you for submitting maps, watching this show, and soon for voting. We'll see you at the final awards show.